Namaskar. Today we are gathered here for the function where the person who has introduced few ideas before 2 years and the result is here today. Professor Dongavkar is with us. I welcome him in my university, in our university, and on behalf of university also, I welcome him here in our studio. Today, Professor Dongavkar is going to speak with us about the role of Open University and the programs we can introduce for our Gujarat state. We will have discussion also, and we are going to discuss all the questions of ours to start few courses in paramedical phase. So first I welcome him. Thank you. First, I'll introduce Professor D. Dongavkar. He is an orthopedic surgeon. He started his career from Grand Medical College, Bombay. He was a faculty dean there. Then he was a vice chancellor from 1998 to 2003 of Health University of Maharashtra. And there he started his revolutionary ideas, and he could create very good courses there. Then today, he is working as a Association of Indian University General Secretary at Delhi, and he is working with all the vice chancellors, all the universities, and he has introduced one interest of him is the youth leadership, and he has started activities in that AIU. So he has got his own ideas, and he is a master of yoga. He has written one yoga teacher book. So, the courses, sir, now I welcome you here, and the most important virtue of him is to discuss with the national perspective, international perspective with all, and try to introduce courses, try to introduce some improvement in every field. That is his virtue. Second is, I have always seen him like whenever he is discussing with all, is a very good professional, and in professional thoughts is try always to improve the whatever programs are there, he tries to improve. So now I'll introduce my university. That in my university, Gujarat is known for progressiveness and Gujarat is known for voluntarism. Two things are the wealth of Gujarat. And when I came to this university, I met you before 2 years in Surat in the first university conference, and there I discussed with him, and he gave me some ideas to start some paramedical courses. We had a very good discussion with him, and then we have introduced some 10 courses in our university about this health courses. One is diploma in mother and child health and family welfare, diploma in village level health worker, diploma in psychotherapy for blind, diploma in yoga teacher training, certificate in veterinary nursing assistant, certificate in parenthood, certificate in yoga science, certificate in naturopathy, certificate foundation course for diploma in physiotherapy 1 and 2. In all, we got 10 courses for paramedical. Gujarat always gets people from world who are basically from Gujarat, and they are coming here for medical tourism also. And the doctors here, I first called some doctors. I started discussing with, and the Dr. Leelaben Trivedi is a leader of this team, because I invited her as an expert, and then she collected all, and around 38 doctors together. I am really thankful to them, because they are MD and MS. They wrote these courses in Gujarati. It was too difficult to write in Gujarati, and they did it. I am thankful to all the doctors, and I wanted to felicitate them here. So only I called Dr. Dongavkar here. I told him that 2 things I need from you. One is that you have given me idea, and see that how we could manage it, we could visualize it, and we could implement it. In these courses, we have just now Dr. Kamal Nayak and her team has completed lecture series here, and in that DVHW and this village level health worker and mother and child welfare. That course was taken from here, and from here all the students are attending the lecture at their center. So they were sitting there, and these doctors always get at least 15 to 20 questions in this 2 hours lecture, and they deliver this lecture from here, and we could start this course. Now we are going to attach them for the practical with the hospitals. So sir, these 10 courses we have created here.
What are the students in this?
Students are, they have decided that the 12 pass student they are taking, and they are taking this course for the employment, for enlightenment, and to take some employment, because our university has taken the view that the first is that we would like to give work to hands. Number 1, we want to equip them with the skill and knowledge both, and therefore we decided that our courses should of that type. Second, prevention of medicine, prevention of diseases is the base for any pehlu sukte jate narya. That is a proverb in Gujarati, and on that base we have started Yoga Vignan course, and this year we are going to start a yoga teacher course also, and 1 course we have started for diploma in nature cure. So there are 2 types of courses. One is assisting people in hospital. Number 1, we are creating assistants for doctors, and second is that prevention of diseases from any age. They can start the Yoga Vignan course, and it is very near to your heart, that I know, and we have got around 200 students in that course, and people are doing well. This is the stock of my university, what we have done for paramedical. Otherwise, our university has started postgraduate courses. We are enrolling students for PhD. We have started few courses in computer. We have started few courses in commerce, because the only motto of my university is to equip our future generation with skill and knowledge, so they will be more enrich themselves, and they will be able to get employment. So now today I request you to deliver lecture, and then it will be followed with discussion. Doctors can ask questions, I'll also ask questions, and we would like to know that role of open and distance learning, because your experience will help us to draw more and more courses and to help our future generation. Therefore, I request you to give a speech about role of open and distance learning to improve health facilities in Gujarat and for paramedical courses.
Yeah. Thank you, Madam. Honorable Vice Chancellor of Dr. Ambedkar Open University, Dr. Amrapali ji, dear colleagues, I consider this as the opportunity to share my experience with you and learn through your experience for future development. As a educationalist, Dr. Amrapali has provided excellent leadership to this university, which is obvious from the graphs which she has kept in front of me. They are quite impressive. Year-wise program launch, she has started with 5, now she has got 76. That's a big credit to you, madam.
As I have started here at 11.
11 to 76.
Yeah.
The center she has developed from 68 to 216, and the enrollment has been
7,000.
raised from 7,000 to 31,000. This is a very challenging job she has done. She needs appreciation for that.
Thank you very much.
My association with Dr. Amrapali is of 2.5 years. That was the opportunity I had to come in my first spell of activities to Gujarat. That was first public meeting which I had conducted for Vice Chancellors. That was in South Gujarat University, and there we had interaction. Health is my own professional field. As an educationalist in health sciences, I had some ideas both as a medical practitioner, as a citizen, and as educationalist. These ideas are basically linked with the need of the community. We all say prevention is better than cure, but how much time we spend on that, how much priorities we give for that, that is a $1 million question. As a professional teacher, we have designed program to teach them, but in practice when we go, we are busy only in treating the patients, not promoting them. When I got this opportunity as a founder vice chancellor in Maharashtra, we had designed all the courses, undergraduate courses, where the preventive care was given genuine priority. The doctors, once they enter in practice, they have got hardly time or even priority for continuing it. So we thought, rather than loading the doctors further, after that sensitization, there has to be an additional system which takes care of the problem of the community. And one of the best force which is available in the profession is allied health sciences manpower. That's nurse is there, psychologist is there, physiotherapists are there, and assistant cadre staff. So one of the best priorities is to train them properly for preventive care. Second thing, public health education program, which can be implemented through these people, or there could be direct certificate course for average civilian or a society member to learn for his own benefit, for his own family. The preventive education is not necessarily meant for teaching others, but it could be for self-use also. So this is one area where there is a tremendous scope. We can design small courses, some of them you have already done. The child care is one of the biggest priority area, or care of a pregnant mother. These are the essential things, because these were taken care by the system in our culture earlier, because we had grandmother, mother at home, joint family concept. Gujarat has got the strongest tradition even today. Wherever they go globally also, they live as a joint family. But if we see large number of members of the society those who are particularly urbanized, the nuclear family concept has come. The natural learning curve is not existing. And in those situations, there has to be a system which can compensate for these kind of activities. So, care of a young mother, care of pregnant woman, child care, elderly care, or care during the sickness. These are different small type of courses which can be introduced through this distance program. But one of the most important thing which I would consider one has to be very guarded is about the contact hours, because all these things you cannot learn through books only. Books can give you theoretical base, but most important part is the understanding the complexity through experience, and the skills which are required are very important. For personal learning, skills may not be important, but when you are trying to utilize the knowledge for others, I think skill becomes much more important than personal utility. And these are the areas where the contact hours are meticulously to be worked out. You are doing this program as a community need, but if somebody picks up this program as a today's commercial educational activity, he can mint the money without delivering the system, and that is the major danger, where we are very cautious. If it is employment oriented course, there will be lot of demand. You have to be cautious, and particularly those areas where you are doing courses like technicians, physiotherapists, occupation therapists, nursing, you have to be double careful. This is one area where as a professional I defer to provide these courses as a basic course in distance education mode. There is a big debate as per this professional courses to be given in distant mode. Some of our national universities and state universities in open education have started, but as a professional I had always deferred. There is one debate through the Architect Council to start architecture course in distant mode, and I was invited to give input. I gave a very candid opinion like surgeons give to the patients. I gave a very open opinion that this should not be started because that will create disaster as per the quality is concerned. What is role of distance education in profession is in basically skilled person to upgrade his quality, his knowledge, to give him opportunity to upgrade in life. That those in profession are called continued medical education courses. I think that is the first area you should start. You can have organizational contacts like professional associations like Indian Medical Association, like Orthopedics Association, Physicians Association. These are the platforms where they have got basic understanding of the subject, basic skills are there, and they want to improvise on that. That would be the best thing to do as per profession is concerned. There are certain areas where we are not able to help the community, especially rural health is concerned. There are serious problems. That is not because we are short of doctors today. It is because of the problem of maldistribution. 80% of the doctor, they serve 20% of the community in urban area, and rest of the community is left out with practically underqualified professionals which give services to 70% of the community. This is one area which has been debated several times, but we could not find solution. And in this situation, we have to think of alternatives. One of the national debate was to start short-term courses, what was called rural doctor. But once qualified doctor never remains rural. He starts becoming urban automatically. This attempt was made in Maharashtra also somewhere in 77. 3 years course was started in 3 centers. When these students came in final, they demanded admission in medicine. And ultimately they had to close down these colleges. There is still one thought process going on. The health minister, central health minister himself is a surgeon, is a general surgeon. He is of the opinion, he has openly aired his views also to start medical course which is shorter duration. But I think that is again a risk. You cannot restrict a practitioner to practice only to rural area. That is a debatable question. The other alternatives, what I think, it's my personal opinion, I have recommended it on national forums also, which is internationally practiced in developed countries, is a practicing nurse. If we see today's undergraduate course in any medical faculty and nursing course, a nurse trained in a proper hospital is better skilled than an average graduate medical person. This statement I am making with lot of responsibility. I have worked as a professor of orthopedics, dean at Grant Medical College, and then vice chancellor. With all these responsibilities at my background, because the contact hours and the skill responsibilities is minimum with the professional doctor. He is better tuned to diagnose the patient, investigate the patient, but not to handle the patient. His real experience starts in residency handling the patient. And the nurse does her job in the first year itself. If you ask a doctor to give injection, he is little trembling. But if you ask a nurse, she is more competent. The procedures like enema, mopping of the patient, or even TPR, what we normally say, is better done by an average nurse than an average doctor. These are the people who can be trained further to take responsibility, and they should be left in the community to take care of basic health of the villagers or rural area where doctors are not available. This has been practiced. The community health nurse is there in Britain. There is a clinical assistant nurse is there. There is a theatre assistant nurse is there. And wards are particularly taken care totally by nurses. What our residents do here, most of the nurses, those who have training abroad, they must be aware that the average nurse there is better knowledgeable than average graduate with us. They have got their own academic upliftment program, and these are the areas where the distance education can help them to upgrade their skills. But after primary nursing course done in a proper hospital. But if you try to do a nursing course in distance education, I think that would be invitation for disaster. That is why skills are concerned, I would not compromise. The first stage, if you really want to promote people, like ward boy training you said, those who are already working as ward boys, you work with them and upgrade their skills to make them, to go them to have higher responsibilities, like ward boy going to the theatre assistant job. If you create a theatre assistant job here and without exposure to the hospital if he goes, then he would not understand what is asepsis, how to handle it. Those will be problems. So in-service upgradation should be first priority. Learn through that experience and then do it. There is one more area which I would like to highlight is women care in the villages, particularly antenatal care, postpartum care,
field guideline that they
How long the training goes on?
It is doing by
No, how long the training
30
goes on?
days, 30 days, 15 days, 2 times,
Here it is
30
15
days.
in primary health center.
30 days.
No, that's not exactly, my question is there only because if you see the turnover of patients in any village, primary health center or sub-centers, that's not adequate time to develop skills. They must have proper time, we must evaluate what skills they are developing. With an open mind, if experiments are done, it's all right. Till the time we do experiments, we should not accept it as a system.
So minimum time you feel that it should be 1 month, but if it is possible to have little more time, it would be 6 weeks would be ideal.
Yeah, I would not make anything ideal unless I get feedback from the system after evaluation, and then probably
That could
design.
be a systematic feedback
Yes,
system,
yes.
from our, we can work out.
Yeah, very true.
Skill assessment.
Sir, you will continue just. It was just.
The other areas where you can be very aggressive is sensitization programs like certificate courses. As I told earlier, you can do in healthcare area, you can do in yogic practices. There are some ailments where you can train the people, but the most important thing, one must know the limitations, what he or she has got. I can quote one example where I had an experience. As she told, I am a trained yoga teacher, and I have developed certain programs. I am a spinal surgeon also. I used to do workshops. I used to conduct workshops for spinal surgery and instrumentation, minimal intervention surgery, and for the instrumentation. But at the same time, there was a contradiction in my career. I was a yoga teacher because there are indications for everything. And I had trained some of the British yoga therapists ladies group of 30. I was 3 years in Nottingham. That's why I had a lot of connection with Gujarati community in Leicester. I still go regularly. There is a very strong Gujarati Women's Association who used to conduct my workshops for low back pain management and for healthy practices. This British group which I had trained, I had told them this is the program which you have to institute after the patient is screened by the minimum family practitioner or an orthopedic surgeon. But the scenario was such, I used to conduct weekend workshops with them. This was a design course to orient them with the spinal anatomy, spinal mobility, and then evaluation of the patient and which areas not to touch the patient and which areas to introduce the graded program for low back pain management. And I had asked them, I will orient them for 6 months with weekend programs. After that they will do 1 year's course with practical course with one of the physiotherapists or a practicing surgeon, then evaluate them. But after 6 months, when they knew everything theoretically, they started practicing on their own because they are already having license with them. And what they did smartly, they used to record all the teaching, what I used to demonstrate. That they thought is everything. And when they started facing problem, I said, now I cannot take responsibility because I did not permit you to practice independently. Now last week I have got an invitation from them. This is last 10 years going on. The organizer himself, he thought he is a master in it. And then when they were questioned by the patients about some information, and they have got it as a national health reimbursement program also after this training program. They are not able to resolve their problems. Now they are getting a major project through the National Health Services of British government. They need somebody who can technically explain the authorities how the system works. They are asking me to work as advisor. I said, now I cannot take the responsibility. They have been given very big fund. But this is half-baked thing. That's what I said. Unless there is a professional linkage of constant evaluation, every new course, new idea, there is always controversy. The time only decides what is successful, what is not successful. But we must have scientific approach, cautious approach till the time the system gets stabilized. That would be my approach.
This type of problem we are facing here,
You are facing?
this type of program and this type of problems,
Ah.
we are also facing there.
Yeah, but that is why the system should be open and should be kept as, see, when we do research, we take selective patients under the trial by indication and criteria. Unless we are successful in giving outcome, we don't generalize it. That is why the work should be done by the pioneering universities, because open education, open and distance education is a new concept. But in enthusiasm, we cannot spread everywhere. We have to know where are the limitations and where it can be useful. We have to decide with experience. The CME program for different associations in Maharashtra, I had very strongly suggested, because as we do workshops, we do seminars, we do tutorials. Similarly, for specialty wise, you can create anchor specialists and you can conduct for them. That will work quite well. But basic skills are concerned, one has to be cautious.
You said the reality is after even the 50 or 52 years of independence, still 80% community of our nation is not getting the doctor. So this week only, there had been in Ahmedabad, the management consultation on healthcare of India was there. And everybody was opinion that even they have started one full-time community cardiology program in one of the open university of the country, where it has been attached to the Dr. Devi Shetty's Narayana Ruglalaya in Bangalore and Kolkata. So they are going to give the community cardiology only to MBBS doctors.
Yeah.
But definitely what they say, and all other people also feel, that there is definitely a need of people, like you said, who are living in the village. We have to train them at least in the basic primary health care and some emergency health care, so they can address to all this issue. Otherwise we cannot let people die, let our mothers die in the villages like this. And there are people who are going to take up all these things, and they are also going to plan some, what you said, our Honorable Minister was also present. He also said same thing, and he said to start some 2 or 3 year full-time program for such basic doctors who can serve the village community at least.
So I have not made only statement, I have given solution. The solution which are failed, the Honorable Minister is going to try it again. And it will be 100% failure considering Indian mind and psyche. Because when he has got liberty to move from the village, he will never stay in a village. That's what I said, one who is rooted already in the village, you pick up them. If you want to make doctors also, make them doctors. But the moment they are called doctor, they also will not live in the village.
But what they say is they can be given only license to practice in rural areas. They cannot practice
See, tomorrow they will challenge in the court. That is a question of human rights.
And rural area nowadays is almost very urban.
No, that may not be true all parts. Gujarat it is true, but not rest of the country.
Another thing you said is very good, that health educator course is required, because in our medicine when we learn, the last thing is give health education. Like for iron, you do not, in addition to tablet, you say ki by green leafy vegetables.
Yes.
And you say hand washing, and you say wearing the chappals to prevent hookworm. So for nowadays, big need of health educator, health counselor is there for example, HIV. Then there may be another need, for example, for dengue also. So
Yeah,
you
that's
know,
why
so
multi-purpose,
the health
you can-
educator, that course can be designed, and actually health education is done nowadays by non-medical NGOs only.
Yeah,
So
that
they
is
can
true.
be
That
taught,
is
and there is a really shortage of health educators.
Yeah, that is.
Yesterday only we discussed about undertaker.
Yes, enough.
But actually,
He is my
number of the mothers and infants.
Can you
both are
introduce, madam,
Yeah.
what is your
Please.
background, so I'll be better
my
in
name is Dr.
understanding.
Leela Trivedi, and I was invited for this class.
What is your professional background, madam?
I am
Mic चालू कर.
department and professor and head of the department, BJ Medical College.
Gynecologist.
So you are oriented with IGNO MCH program?
Yes,
Technically,
yes.
I was there for
Yeah.
3 years, and then I started.
Sure, I appointed her as an expert this.
Yeah,
and
Mrs.
she-
Kamal Deshmukh also was involved in that. You may be knowing Kamal Deshmukh, KK Deshmukh. Yes. What is your personal opinion and analysis about the MCH program which is run by IGNOU? You are part of the system. You know the inside
Yes,
story.
and I agree with you that we should not start the courses, training courses itself. We should take the people who are already in them and we should train them. And so we have PGD MCS course. In that course, we were training the medical doctors.
Yes.
And they were coming for the, we were posting them in OBGY for 15 days in pediatrics and then in preventive social medicine. And there we were giving training programs at institutional steps, then at district level, and then where they were working.
Mhm.
So this type of training were given, and those courses were more helpful. But my thing is, we are dividing the community. The problem is not only rural problem. It's equally, the urban slums are equally bad.
Yeah,
We
very
are getting the patients, very bad patients, equally bad patients for the urban slums. So we are not concentrating that, we are neglecting that population, and that population should be also taken care of.
Yeah,
She
very
is my expert.
No course from PGD and NCH. Some of the doctors I asked why did you join this course? Some of them said they wanted increments from the government. Some of them said they wanted practice as a diploma. Some of them are doing MTP as MBBS. They wanted to be more, licensed
Certified,
kind of a thing,
certified.
so that they may not land up in the trouble. So the intention is not, what we think their intention should be. That is,
Actually, there are
they
many
are taking it as a
controversies.
byproduct.
The best course for this is to settle the controversy. Those who are already qualified through the system, they should be evaluated by the neutral agency, and what is the outcome, one should have a critical review of it and then probably decide.
Sir, I think at this juncture, at your level, it would be worthwhile, and you might have already undertaken that kind of activities, evaluating this open IGNOU University or other university, open university, those who have taken especially this skill-based paramedical course, because what you have rightly said, that one always has apprehension, that skill, it is learned by doing under supervision.
Yes.
And that also not once,
Yeah,
but
that's-
it has to be
Defined period for that.
repeatedly,
Yeah.
and the upgradation of the skill.
Yeah.
So whether any study has been carried out, especially I am interested in course like nursing personnel, because when it started in Gujarat, Dr. Indira, I was director, she came to meet me. I had shown this apprehension about the skill part, that how best we can, whether it is possible, because a short period in medical colleges there are residents, there are students, and there are undergraduates, and
You
how much
have
time.
plenty problems.
Regarding
So-
skills, what our medical graduate also they don't have.
Yes.
Because I am assistant professor in medical college. I know what the
Yes.
interns have as a skill
Yeah.
after completion of 4.5 years of full-time course.
So highly.
So what I suggest is that we have started the course, we will give them practical training definitely, we will evaluate their skills and will record everything on the paper, we'll see that, please, and yes.
I'm from Sterling Hospital and we want to establish a patient care assistant program. As you told that nursing care is very essential. So we want to establish a short-term certificate 1-year course for as related to nursing field, and by then we will provide the basic psychological and physical needs to the patients. So it is a very short-term course, but it will give definite benefits to the patient and also to the relatives. Also we will prepare that related to this health education purpose or point of view. So for that, like nurse's role is important and nursing care is important. And so that's why patient care assistant. Nursing will give the diagnostic treatment, but nobody can there that it will provide the basic care like a psychological support, then other basic physical care like bathing, toileting and other skin care. So this is the very, very important.
There you can label them as a nursing assistant,
No, patient care assistant.
patient care assistant. Patient care assistants, yes, that is an alternative to the terminology.
Yeah, it will definitely help to the
Yeah,
patients.
but it must be an intensive program where they get hands-on experience.
Yeah.
If you admit 100 students and if there are 20 patients, it does not serve the purpose.
No. No,
This is what is happening today.
sir, we have 200-bedded
No,
hospital.
that's why, if you got 100-bedded patient, hospital and if the
Multi-super
beds are-
speciality.
if the
So
beds
we
are
have-
always full, in that case, you can take small number of trainees.
Yeah.
But what is happening today, most of the time, these immediately start becoming commercial courses. That is the major danger. Where there is no capacity. Now there are no dental chairs, but the dental doctors are multiple.
Right.
Same way, if you see many hospitals where the medical colleges are run,
Yeah.
city public hospitals, there are no places to keep the patient, but here there are no patients. These doctors, one patient is seen by 50 students. If that
No,
is the case, then it becomes a
No,
problem.
certainly not.
Nowadays shortage of nurses are there, and they are only related to this diagnostical care. Nobody can give the psychological
you
and
can create a graded program. The psychological support, if you want, you need little more intelligent person, not as an assistant. Counselor is the only solution, or health educator is the only solution.
Definitely,
Because that's a
but-
professional skill.
yeah.
Psychological counseling is not a simple job. To slap a child,
Definitely,
make him to
sir.
sit quiet, saying is easy, but
But
to
it's a
convince
part
him,
of nursing, na sir.
no, but I would not advise you to divulge that responsibility. You have to create a special cadre in nurses for that purpose. Or create a course designed particularly for that aspect, because psychological aspects we take very casually because they are genesis of many problems.
No, sir. In our hospital, we have a psychologist, but also like if
No, but if you say patient care assistant,
Yeah.
he cannot be a strong person because as per qualification, as per status, he will be a very small person. He will not develop that capability to understand what is the complexity of psychological support. You have to develop proper counselor for that. Whatever I wanted to give little framework I have told, I would be more happy in interaction because we have to share experiences and then evolve the mechanisms where we can do small experiments and then work out.
We have got a yoga courses also.
If any
So-
independent study has been carried out, we
Yes.
would like to have a copy from you.
Studies are not done. We as Indians, we always give impressions. That's what I am trying to ask the system to do evaluation. As per distance education programs are concerned, with due respect to the system, it is my observation because I sit in many interviews for evaluation of the candidates for different purposes. There are many programs run by IGNOU, and Delhi is full of qualified IGNOU people, both up to PhD and master's course. And wherever there are technological courses, it is my observation those who have developed skills in their profession by practice and they have got additional degree, they are the best. Those who have got distinctions and degrees but could not get opportunity for hands-on experience, they are the worst. We had conducted an interview for programmer. We had 3 ladies who had distinction in programming. But I being a surgeon, I did not go on the face value. I said immediately after the interview there should be a hands-on session where the expert would evaluate them. All 3 were rejected. And there was another situation, same IGNOU qualified, was excellent in performance, communication skills, and when we tested her, she was not that good, but she was above average. We asked her where she acquired the skill. She said, IGNOU has nothing to do with my skills. This is the confession of the patient. Because unless we honestly analyze the situation, we will not be able to provide solution.
Sir,
I'm giving you the other side because nobody would tell you this thing.
Yeah,
As
sure.
a vice chancellor, they would not give you feedback. I'm trying to give you
yeah,
feedback.
please.
I asked her, there is a contact hour program for you through this learning process. She said program is there, centers are identified. When you go to the center, 50% of the time the teacher is not available. When teacher is available, we don't have time because we are working. This was the explanation given. For this kind of activity, there has to be a standardized monitoring mechanism. And unless they acquire skills, you should not allow them to appear for theory examination. That is what, as a professional, I would give advice. Otherwise, once they pass in theory, they think they know everything, and then there is always a compromise in
disaster.
practical.
Now, I would like to say one thing to you. When I came here as a Vice Chancellor, I asked one person who was computer trained in IGNOS course in my university, and he could not start a computer. On that day, I decided that I'll take practical examination, and from the very first term, I introduced that. I went to Academic Planning Board. I told them that in computer course, if we don't take practical examination, it is zero. I don't want to run this course if we don't introduce practical. And Academic Planning Board agreed on that, and now we are taking the examination, practical examination, and believe me that all the centers are working on that, because otherwise they will be failed in the practical. And we got around 12,000 students in CCC program, and they are regularly trained at the institute, and only through practical they are pass or fail. So practical is there, then the theory examination is also there. So I'll take care that this program will take care of that, that we will add a practical training. We have added the practical, we have organized that, but we will see the monitoring also. That I'll take care.
Another suggestion, I have got a very practical suggestion which I have learned through my own experiences and through studies. You have to work out what is the need of the community. Course for the purpose of running course should not be there, and no course should be permanent course. It should be evaluated every 2-3 years whether we need continuity, modification. In that case, what I would do, I would interact with the community. If it is possible, get some surveys done for each area, what are their health problems. Basically epidemiological studies I am suggesting. This is the biggest problem in the country. We don't have database on any pattern of diseases. There are studies, but the document itself says these are not reliable studies. If you see 2002 policy document of ICMR, the opening sentence itself says this is not reliable database. If that is the situation, we have to create a database. We are trying to be global leaders now, and we have got that potential and opportunity both. And what we have to do, we have to develop systems. We have got excellent talent, but when we come in group, we are always failure. We prosper only abroad, not in this country. That is the reason, because we have to develop systems. What I would suggest, if it is possible, you can get in touch with the health sciences institutes and develop a program to evaluate the community problems. Best would be epidemiological study with different social parameter, developmental parameters, which I have done. I am not giving a theoretical advice. I have got a document. When I was Vice Chancellor, I was Chief Investigator, and we did pilot study of Nashik district, urban, rural and tribal, about their health-seeking behavior, disease patterns, their social parameters, literacy rates and everything. The studies are interesting because they will give what are the community priorities there. Then you interact with the community leaders, how they want it to be helped, and then prepare a program. You design the course for them, train them and leave them and upgrade them every year, maybe a fortnight or so. That would go a long way. This study I will give some highlights. Non-communicable diseases like heart disease, accidents and communicable diseases like jaundice, hepatitis are common causes of death in urban and rural areas, whereas acute respiratory tract infection, ARI, is the commonest cause of death in tribal area. So the orientation has to be different depending on the location. So your standard program does not work there. Access to safe potable water is poor in tribal area. Also, the tribal people have poor knowledge about methods of purification of water. So this is one of the major source of their problems. And you have large belt of tribal, yes.
44 talukas.
In spite of legal age, at marriage being 18 years, advice regarding first conception after the age of 20 years for the safe motherhood was not followed. 41.5% of the women conceived between the age of 15 and 20 years of age. This is another. There is one very interesting observation. Overall female literacy was one of the problem. We say we are 65% literate in the country today as an average. This problem I had posed with UNESCO Commission of Government of India. The illiteracy rate of Nashik tribals women is 61%. So, means only 41%, 39% literacy. Any kind of your developmental programs would be failure, because this is considered one of the primary human development factor. When we were talking India shining, India developing, India developed countries by 2020, if there are 60% women in a particular community not literate, where are they going to be part of your beneficiary system? That needs to be addressed. Only half of the tribal women fulfill the minimum criteria of ANC utilization, including immunization with tetanus toxide. This is 50%, they are out of your bracket. Government hospital is the most commonly chosen place for childhood immunization. The immunization coverage is comparable to national level coverage. This is one of the major achievements. ARI, acute respiratory infections, diarrheal diseases, worm infestation, and dental caries are the high list of childhood morbidity. Dental care is not part of our overall care system, considering the shortage and availability of people. Tubectomy is the most popular method of family planning in all areas, because male do not want to take initiative. Dental problems are widely prevalent in all areas. Toothache, dental caries, and loose teeth are the problem. Tribal people have poor knowledge regarding spread and prevention of malaria. Mosquito net is the most popular method used to protect from malaria. 67 of households reported some family member diagnosed or tested for tuberculosis. Majority of the population with the history of injury in the age group of 20 to 45. Tribal people prefer traditional treatment.
I think I'm doing that only. That for a health educator, if all the parameters, if we take care, I think it will be the best. And for regional level, like if you want to work in tribal area, we can take all the points together.
And take points also, and the person also tribal. Otherwise, nobody will stay there. That is the problem.
Yes. No, I believe it that these are the really good points.